What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Rockit Garage. And on my last video of me doing kind of a walk around, somebody had, hopefully I can screenshot and put the comment right here. I think I'm smart enough to do that, but pretty much doing a toolbox tour, and I was actually thinking about doing a video like that, so I might as well just knock it out now, because if I don't, I'm gonna procrastinate and it will be another year before I think about it again. So I'm gonna do it today. All right, let's get into it. So I wouldn't say that I have like a lot of tools, but I know like to some people who don't work on cars a lot, I have like everything, but there is a lot of stuff I don't have. But I'll start with the toolboxes, and that's gonna be this, I don't know, it's like a 40-inch Husky with this like white oak top. This is pretty much all my Bodywork tools. And then this was actually my first toolbox that I bought. My dad bought me like this little red toolbox when I was a kid, and then I upgraded when I was like 16, 17 maybe. No, I was probably 19 when I bought this box. It was on sale. It was like a Christmas Day sale. But I like this box, but then I found this snap-on box, and I paid, I wanna say I paid like 700 or 600 for that. I paid 900 bucks for the snap-on box, and it has the keys, so screaming deal. It's like a 1970s box, and I of course blew it up with stickers. We'll start with this box. This is my first box, and I've kind of just kept my junk tools in here now, especially when my buddy Michael comes over. He's banned from any snap-on stuff. Love you, Michael. This is just my body panel, tool drawer, clips. Oh, door spring tool compressor. Haven't used that in like 10 years. But yeah, body tools for getting interior panels and clips off. I should start with the top, I guess. I keep my torch and like wire just right here. It's very organized. Little flashlight to keep my air chucks and gauge. This is gonna be a long video. I just realized that, but we'll just go with it. My Milwaukee tape measure broke. That was a bummer, so I'm using my old ones. Got the air pump for vacuuming out air conditionings and redoing that. I don't do a whole lot, but sometimes when I'm wanting to fix an air conditioning that, say someone took the pump off or the condenser was broken, I don't like evap stuff. Like I only work on stuff that's already been evaporated. Squirt bottle. I do have that vacuum pump so I can do brakes by myself, which is kind of nice. We'll go down to this drawer. This is like random picks, tire repair, my old snap ring pliers that I just throw in the truck if I need them. An ice scraper? What? For the 2 times it snows here. More picks. Again, this is more of a junk toolbox, like a catch-all. This is screws, clamps, vacuum stuff, clips, bulbs, wiring. And then this is my crescent wrench drawer. A bunch of old files that I probably should throw out, but I'm not. Once again, another junk drawer. This is all my air tool chucks and adapters and fittings, and then some old pliers that I started out with. That's my dad's. Merv. I use these screwdrivers for hitting with a hammer. I know you're not supposed to do that, but that's my hidden hammer screwdriver spot. I never use those nut drivers. Here's my air conditioning stuff, just a Pittsburgh, manifold gauges, temperature gauge, and like the adapters, little temp gauge. That's about all I need for air conditioning. I'm gonna move that. There you go. Random air tools that I don't usually use a whole lot. I got my burrs, wire wheels, the random hammer drawer when I have lost all my good hammers. My OG air tools that I started off with, the Huskies and a Cobalt, got that on a deal. That one's actually a pretty good impact. I like that one. My air gun's out right now. Oh, the abandoned porta cables. I don't use these. Actually, you know what? I should probably give these to my dad. He still uses porta cable. That would free up a whole drawer. I do use my bits a lot. These little bits. And this drawer is my random sockets that I have discontinued, and I usually use them as punches with a hammer to get like U-joints out, or if I can't find like this 1/2 inch 3/8 drives, like if I can't find it, then I'll just go to this drawer. But normally that's my hitting with a hammer or using it with the shop press sockets, which is very safe. I don't recommend that at all. This is my tape drawer. Gloves, random glasses, got my earplugs. I usually keep earplugs in my pocket, but just in case I run out. The old, whatchamacallit? Oh, it's got my first shop label on there. Label maker, that's what it's called. You'll see a theme in this box. It's kind of my catch-all, don't want to throw it away just yet box, but it's still usable, and sometimes Michael comes over and uses these. Pop rivet gun, hog ring pliers, trim poppers, and then a spark plug wire tool. I've used that a total of like 3 times. This drawer is a masterpiece of all of the drill bits that I can't get myself to throw away. So I just abandon them here, and I will get to them one day. But this drawer is used a lot. And then my dad has my brake line flaring tool, but it usually goes right here. It's an Eastwood, that thing's a boss. Brake line cutters, bender, and then I got a box of Clecos. Box of Clecos, I use them sometimes. Electrical drawer, I got a bigger voltmeter, the free voltmeter you get at Harbor Freight. I use that all the time. Test leads, test light, soldering, nothing crazy. And then shrink wraps, zip ties, more shrink stuff, or I should say crimps, connectors. And then this is another soldering gun. The heat gun that has black mold growing on it, don't worry about that. Timing light and some random wire. And then a skill saw. And at the bottom of this is I accidentally dumped a case of cotter pins, and this is now the cotter pin drawer. So moving on to the box that I use the most. Got my straight edges on top, earmuffs, trash bags, some blue layout dye, a box of bolts for my power wagon that I will probably never reinstall, but I'm not throwing them away. Old razor blades that I'll never use again. This is so cool. The snap-on keychain holder with the snap-on keys. Yeah, sick. Moving on. A drawer completely packed full of stickers that I'm not opening because that's gonna take 10 minutes to close. Then you got some AN stuff, hose clamps. I like these. These are very convenient when you don't want to empty like a fuel line. You just clamp these off. Angle finder that I never use. Hose cutter. Measuring tools. So I have my angle finders, my calipers, more calipers, this cool angle finder tape measure thingy. It's pretty cool, especially when you're using like tubes, like cutting tubes and trying to find angles and stuff. That's really nice. Big wrench drawer, and you can see I have a total of 3 of those, and 2 of them are out at the Bronco. An empty drawer full of Kaizen foam and some tire irons and a big pry bar, and then random keys. Oh no. So essentially there's like 3 or 4 drawers that are empty in each of these boxes that I could condense a lot of this into, but I'm still expanding, so eventually all these tools will, or all these drawers will be full. Then I got my metric drawer. Honestly, I don't use metric a whole lot, so I have this SK set, which is probably one of the nicest sets that I've used. I've used the Snap-on stuff, but this SK for the price is pretty sick. So open end, box end, my first set of open end, box end, and then some ratchets, some ratcheting ones, and then random bigger ones that I bought over the years, like this 18. For some reason, the cheaper sets don't come with an 18, and shock bolts are always 18 inch or 18 mil. I don't have a whole lot of metrics, but this pretty much gets me by. And if I don't have it, you got a crescent wrench. Here's the SAE stuff. Brake line wrenches. We've got the cheapo ratchetings. This set was probably like my first set that I ever bought, and I still use it. So kudos to Harbor Freight. This set was right when Craftsman went to Lowe's, I believe it was. And I didn't realize it, but yeah, they're not made in the USA anymore. And that was like the first year that they did that. And I kind of just stopped buying the Craftsman stuff. So these sets work pretty good. Nothing to really complain about. This one's actually very convenient. This long reach offset. I don't even know where I got that. Who makes this? Nobody. Nobody makes this. Next drawer down is ratchets, extensions, torque wrenches, breaker bars, more extensions and adapters, and then the lonely snap-on 1/4 inch drive, which I don't use that actually a whole lot because I have the other ones. But the big drawer, got all my sockets. So I went and bought, when they first came out with the Icon stuff, I traded out all my sockets for these, and this set has been awesome. I think they raised the price on them now, so I don't really know if I would recommend them at that price, but when they first came out, this was a pretty good deal, and you got a really good full set of sockets. Some metric, and then I just do a catch-all of random metric stuff that I've collected over the years. Mainly I use the impacts and these chrome ones, and then obviously I have big axle sockets in the back. I do everything with pretty much those wrenches and these sockets, so you don't need a whole lot. Moving down to the bottom box, we have oil filter tools, a random clutch alignment tool, compression tool, clamps, these are awesome, and then fuel injection, fuel rail, puller offer tools. Don't use those a whole lot, but this one actually gets by with almost everything I need. Moving down, we've got seal pullers, drum brake tools, which I end up using like 20 times a year. These valve lapping tools, you suction cup them down to the valve and spin them and lap them. I've used those once. I use these tools pretty often. So the seal, axle seal installer, that is handy like once a year if you're in a rear end. Chisels, pry bars, pickle forks, punches, a bearing separator, and then a driver, little driver there. This is handy a couple times a year for me. I bought a cheap one, so it's worth having around. If you've got a big cable you need to crimp, you put the crimp in there, slide the cable in, and you whack this thing with a hammer. This is pretty awesome. So we've got a wheel puller, random bits, and then other type of pullers, mainly like steering wheel or front drive pullers. We've got the 2 snap-on hammers, the dead blow, and the ball peen. I love these hammers. Probably the best 2 hammers that I've ever had. An old tap and die set, Healy coils, riv nuts, spot weld drill bits. I guess a random box? I don't know what you call that. And then we've got another Healy coil set, some sound detonator rollers. I've got the other ones out. And then my disc brake tool. If you don't have a disc brake tool kit, you need to get one. Oh gosh, I'm gonna drop all of that. Oh, yeah, that'll go back later. One of the most valuable tools, especially if you do a lot of brakes. I'm doing some reorganizing of my toolbox to try to condense some of this, but I've got screwdrivers and picks, And then my mirrors, small screwdrivers, magnets, big screwdriver, a little spare air chuck, the Craftsman beer bottle opener, front and center. My old set that I originally started with, then I bought these. These are pretty awesome, but you can see my shop gets so humid in here, especially when it rains, it just condensates and then everything sweats. So all of my tools are covered in a slight bit of rust, which is a bummer, but snap ring pliers, I use these the most, especially on the Ford front ends to get the 4-wheel drive hub snap ring off. And then random stuff that I've bought over the years. These long reach pliers come in handy every once in a while. Bent needle nose set, and that's, honestly, I've never used that. I probably paid like 80 bucks for that. An amazing set of convertible snap ring pliers. So you just spin this dial and they'll rotate so you can either spread them or close them. I guess I call this like my specialty drawer. I've got Torx bits, more picks, got Allen keys, more Torx bits, more Allen keys, more Allen keys, more Allen keys, more Torx bits. This is I guess my Torx bit drawer. I don't know if I really like this drawer here. I might move it down one. We've got the air hammer and the 725 impact. If there's two snap-on tools that I would recommend, it would be these two right here. This thing will knock a rivet out of a semi-truck, and this will get pretty much any bolt you need undone. Another ball peen that I bought when I was in Florida. Didn't really need it, but I needed a ball peen. And I was like, okay, well, I have an orange one. I'll just buy a red one. But that's my spare. And then these dead blows are really nice. So you don't have to mar anything when you're smacking it. This drawer is about to get a little bit more full, but I have my ball joint press that I am buying an expansion adapter set for, so that'll go right there. But this thing, I bought it at a pawn shop for like 20 bucks. I lied. I bought it for $9.99. This has been a lifesaver. Ball joints and brakes. If you can get those two type of tools, you can pretty much do a lot at home. Almost forgot the pry bars that I normally use, so you can hit them. I bought these. Most of these tools, snap-on stuff, don't think I went like to a truck and bought them and paid a lot of money. I got almost everything from eBay or pawn shops. So I looked for a deal, and when it was like less than half the price, I usually pulled the trigger on it. All of my snap-on stuff is used, well used. I don't recommend buying them new unless you're actually a technician. Race driver and a slide hammer. This thing's used a lot. So I've got my Sawzall, multiple grinders, gloves, all my abrasives and consumables, wire wheels, stuff like that. Honestly, I normally use these three drawers right here: wrenches and sockets, pliers and screwdrivers. That's about it. Everything else is kind of hit or miss how often I use it. So I have my 1/2-inch impact, my drill, and my 3/8 is somewhere in the shop out there. Moving on to bodywork tools. Got my hammers on this side and my random dollies on that side. This is just a Harbor Freight set that I bought when I was like 15, and I still use them. I really like the Martins though. They ping a little bit differently. They're a really nice set of hammers. These are, if you just want to go over and whack something a few times and get it kind of straight. These teardrop mallets, I use them sometimes with the sandbag, but I don't do a whole lot of metal shaping anymore. Mainly I just buy replacement panels, so I don't use those a whole lot. My next two drawers are soft blocks, these acrylic style big kid blocks, and then my Durablock / 3M blocks, and I've got some K blocks here. I use these blocks probably more than anything. Probably second is these soft blocks. I use these on like big flat panels, and then I use these style on almost everything else. The vice grip drawer. I found these in the woods. Oiled them up, and I still use them to this day. I was probably like 14 or 15 when I found those. some air tools. I've got my air files, some old DAs, the Mud Hog, my other air file that I have to rebuild because I broke it. Dremels. This is my door jamb tool. Yeah, you can get into some cracks and crevices with this thing. It's kind of dangerous, but it works amazing. I have kept almost every instruction to every tool that I've ever bought. So that's this drawer. And here's my C-clamps and magnets. The magnets I use all the time when I'm trying to put a panel on, line things up. This is my random pipe wrench drawer, channel locks, my snips. Last drawer is electric sanders, stud gun, my polishing stuff, and then random sandpaper that I'll probably never use. So that's pretty much it. I am a little bit of a snap-on and you know, I have to have my fix, and I buy one every once in a while, but they're always used. I don't buy them new. Don't be dumb. So there are tools that I am thinking about acquiring. If I do another job like that, I'm gonna go ahead and pull the trigger on. I already pulled the trigger on the adapter set for the ball joint because the small kit doesn't have all the little adapters you need. So it's really annoying when you're trying to put a socket in there or make something work or stack a bunch of, it's a lot easier just to have the bigger set. So I already ordered that. I don't really see, I would like more metric wrenches. That would be cool. Maybe more sockets. Anyways, that's gonna be it for this Toolbox Tour video. Thanks for liking, subscribing, commenting, doing all that stuff. I'm kind of a caveman. I like my hand tools, and I think I get away with a lot of things with a little of things. Anyways, get out there and wrench. Have a good one, and I'll see you guys in the next one.